Hey guys, Brendan from TAT here. Today we've got a Toyota Aurion, so the 2GR engine, heavily sludged up. I'm going to show you how we're going to use some BG products to take care of the problem. So this Toyota Aurion, been to the dealer and they've said it needs a new engine, blows white smoke intermittently, right? So 120,000 kilometers on it. They've asked us for a second opinion. We've looked through the service history. It was all good up to 70,000, then they lapse. And this thing's gone about 40,000 Ks since the last service. Had one in there, but went quite a while without an oil change. So that's got us to this point, which a lot of us have all seen, right? We've got this sludge built up in the engine. Now what we've experienced with these 2GR engines before is they'll basically block the tappet covers, and so once you get all this oil up into the baffles of the tappet covers, there's no way for it to return out of those baffles. It eventually gets sucked up by the PCV system into the intake, coats the intake, and then it's kind of okay while you're driving, but when you stop the car, all that coating gets to pull down. You start the car in the morning, it sucks up what's pooled in the intake, you get a big puff of white smoke for quite a while, and then generally it'll go all right for the rest of the day. So that's the symptom they've got here, and the dealer said it needs valve stems, rings, needs an engine, right? We're going to give it a go with this BG dynamic engine cleaner. So I've used this before. There's other videos out there from the Garage Network, and also Chad from Asden has done one. But I want to show you basically, this is as real as it gets. This is the inside of the engine. We're going to do it after, and we're going to see what we've got. So this is about as far from snake oil as you can get, but the proof will be in the pudding. So we've got the engine button back up and we're about to start the process. So it's a multi-stage process. They give you these instructions when you buy this engine restoration kit from BG. So first thing is your dynamic engine cleaner that goes in. So have a read through of this, obviously. Preliminary things that you're going to want to do. So if we can get to the oil pressure switch or somewhere that we can hook into oil pressure, we want to put a gauge in there so we can measure it. Something like a VE Commodore, which I've done this on before, they've got an oil pressure sensor, so you can monitor that through the scan tool, which is great. But obviously, we want to try and have some kind of idea if anything is going wrong, it gives us time to stop it. Because I should mention that this isn't something that just gets done off the cuff. Like, this is really trying to bring something back from the dead. They literally came to me with a quote from the dealer. This is how much it's going to cost for an engine, so we ran them through the risks, the fact that this is not going to completely reverse your poor maintenance that you've obviously done, but I'm giving you an option, and in my experience it's worked quite well. So we're going to try and monitor oil pressure. We're going to run the thing up to temperature with its current oil in it. We're then going to drop the oil, change the oil filter over. We're going to run first the dynamic engine cleaner in it, which just substitutes for your engine oil, so you fill the engine up with this bottle. We then run the engine for 45 minutes at a set RPM per the instructions. We're going to drop that out, change the oil filter again. We're then going to put in our rinse oil, again running completely on rinse oil instead of engine oil. Run that for 45 minutes at a set RPM, and we will then drop it out again, change the oil, put in your final fill, change the oil filter, put in your final fill of oil, and that's the process done, at which point we're going to then pull off the tappet cover, have another look at it. So I won't bore you with the process of us running through it, but we're going to get it up on the hoist, drain the oil, get going, and I'll see you when it's all done. So same engine after we've done the process, and you can see it's very clean inside, so it's quite an amazing result. You can see these small areas here where the oil obviously hasn't travelled. We've got the tiniest bits of sludge on those sections there, but I think you'll agree it looks quite good. Okay guys, so all finished with the Aurion. So we started with those terribly blocked up tappet covers, sludge all through the engine. We know that there would have been further problems if they kept going like that, beside the white smoke that they initially got. And now I'm quite amazed by what it looks like inside. So as you can see, it's cleaned up the tappet covers quite well, but also the internals of the engine look like that. Now, while we're getting used to this product, while we had the final drain happening, once it was drained out, we put a bore scope up through the drain hole of the sump there so we could see the pickup, and it looked quite clean as well, because I had planned that I was going to drop the sump just to be safe, but being able to see it with that camera there gave me great confidence that we didn't actually have to do that. So yeah, I put a lot of faith in this product now as far as it does what it says on the tin. Obviously prevention is better than having to get to this point, and hopefully now we'll have a customer that will subscribe to preventative measures rather than having to do this. But I think this BG engine restoration service, it at least gives you an option when you're pretty much out of options. It's not going to fix everything, but you can't fix years and years of non-maintenance that has just gone far too far. But in this case, as you can see, it's done a pretty amazing job. I think you'll agree. Thanks.